Hi everyone. Um, I want to talk in this video actually about like I feel like I don't know. I want again. This is going to be probably a more personal video because I'm going to talk. I'm going to share like again as usual spontaneously without any. I haven't write anything or any note or anything. I just as I feel, as I think, I want to talk about, like how um, I feel like, I feel like, you know, despite some good things that just happen, and I will talk about it. I will share my story after right after this, okay? Um, but basically, I just feel like I don't know. I just feel like even though like there are some actually quite good things, I would say honestly, in the eyes of many people, people probably would see this on the surface level as a good thing, really positive good thing, in my life, or they even people will even look at me and they just they just feel proud or respect me or something like that. I will tell you later. So basically, um hold on a second. Hold on a second. Okay. Sorry for waiting. Um, basically, I'm sorry because I still don't know how to pause or combine two different videos. So I just make this in all one straight video. Sorry if there is some minor disturbance. Sorry about that. Okay, because I don't know how to edit or combine videos or anything like that. So this is as raw as it gets. Um, I just feel like my life is absurd. I feel like really my life is like absurd. Like have you? I don't know. Like, have you ever? Maybe some of you, or if any of you are watching this video, maybe you can relate to. Maybe like I haven't seen. I actually tried to Google it. Yeah, but not even apparently there is like still I still cannot find, I still couldn't find like anyone who talk about this, somehow like in the internet, online, social or whatever, maybe people talk about this, but I just couldn't find it, I still just cannot find it, anywhere, from quick Google search, okay. But my point is this. It's kind of hot. Let me turn on the air conditioner. My point is this, like, have you ever feel like sometimes like, of course people's life are different, okay. Of course I know, some people they have it much worse, they have it much worse. And like I've said that life is not fair. There are some people who are at the top, and then there are some people at the bottom, and then maybe there are a lot of people also on this, in the middle somewhere, between this and this, you know so the sorry, the level is quite the gap is quite huge, but I don't know. Have you? I don't know. Maybe I'm naive or something. But have you ever relate or feel like this is why I want to make this video. Because I see like nobody still discussing about this. I don't know. I even chat with AI. Chat GPT about this. Is my life absurd? Is my life absurd? It's kind of like like a crazy. Anyway, have you ever feel like if also like your life is absurd too, you know like what I'm talking about is like more like in a sense of not necessarily strict absurdism philosophy, because I've talked about this in the previous earlier video, but in this video, the context is well still related, but it's more like I personally it's more like, like, have you ever felt like, like your life still have some goodness, still have some potentials, or like you should be where you think of, or what where you dream of, you have it in you, and even, you know ironically or tragically or whatever, like something like that, it's like life sometimes like can bring you up, almost up here, but and then it crush you down somehow, I don't know why, I mean, and then people respond about this will be different, of course, some people, they just, they just uh practically, I think, or pragmatically or something, they just are stoic, maybe, I don't know, some people will, say that, oh, that's your fault, that's your fault, it's your fault, or in if we're talking about our own life, maybe you could I could say, like, it's my fault, and maybe it's true, maybe I will admit, there is a lot of things in life, it's just my fault, it's just my mistake, I'm just being even I admit, in the previous video I also talked about, I admit that, in this secret YouTube channel, this is my secret YouTube channel, okay, hopefully nobody will find about this, I even admit that I'm a loser, in reality, in reality, I'm just I'm just a loser, I'm just a failure, I'm just a nobody, you know. The funny thing is, the ironic thing is, like, on the surface level, if people look at my social media, especially Instagram, IG Instagram, of course I won't tell you my Instagram IG account here, because it's secret, right? Remember, I try to keep my identity still secret, even though now I'm now showing more of my real face, and everything, but I still think, nobody else watching this video, anyway, or even my YouTube channel, because I keep checking, right? I keep checking, the views and everything, practically like nobody's watching this video, maybe it's just me, or maybe some do one person commenting, in some of my previous videos, and that's it, just one or two, even, like, yeah, two people or something like that, I don't know why, like this see, life is absurd, right? Yeah, like, I don't know why, this video, even though I've already tried hashtag and everything, I don't know why it still it still doesn't reach, you know more and more people. It's kind of, again, it's disappointing again, right? See, reality is often disappointing, like I've also always talked in my previous videos. But yeah, let me go back again to my topic, like, it's funny, like, it's funny how life works, I don't know why, I know, like, again, even though I know that it's mostly my faults, my mistake, I'm the wrong one, but sometimes, you just can't help, right? Like maybe you can relate to, like sometimes you try, you've tried, and then I don't know why, life just keeps punishing you, life just keeps, I don't know why, is there a force, I watched this one YouTube video, from a YouTuber named Benedictine the Truth, I kind of like his video, actually, because he's speaking, I would say he's speaking the harsh reality, harsh truth, you know and there are some good YouTuber too, I found, the channel, and his channel is still have a lot more views than my channel. Yeah, anyway, yeah, like, this guy, this youth, he said, like, there is a force, somehow, like, how do you know that you how do you know that you failed because of you, not because of anything else, you know, because he said, you know, he argued, you know, there are sometimes there are basically things that are not in our control. Okay, there are things that are just not in our control, you know, that it's out of the scope, you know, some external factors, external reasons, you know, anything, you know, there are things that, you know, just trying to whatever, no matter what you do, you know, no matter what you try, you know, in all your whole life, right? No matter what you try to do, you know, there is somehow, you know, life just doesn't permit you, life doesn't just allow you, you know, allow you, you know, to, you know, to to like, I don't know, to give what you deserve, I think, you know, for lack of the better words, you know. I know it may, this might sounds entitled, you know, self-entitled or as self-entitlement or whatever, you know, people keep saying nowadays, you know. No, yeah, I know, I'm aware of that too, you know, but I do realize, you know, I do admit, you know, but you know, I'm also just saying the fact, you know, just stating the the harsh truth, harsh reality. You know, sometimes I don't even know whether it's this force is God, you know, or universe, or karma, or fate, or destiny, or whatever, anything. You know, I've talked about this also in my previous video. You know, we don't know. You know, this life. You know, we don't know. Despite all these religions, spiritualities, you know, whatever, you know, law of attraction, everything, you know, anything, you know, people can keep making, you know, whatever theory or whatever, you know, whatever opinion or even truth, what they feel or think as the truth, you know, quote unquote, you know. But hey, the fact of the matter is nobody really knows what's the real truth is, right? You know, I've talked about this in my previous video, you know. But anyway, back again to my topic. It's just, you know, I just feel like, I don't know why, you know, like I feel like, you know, there are, to make it short, okay, there are some things in life that I really really deeply want so much, you know. For example, love, you know. Not that I've never experienced love or relationships before, you know. I've been in four relationships before in my life, you know. Now I'm in at my 40s, in my 40s, you know. But before, when I was younger, you know, I was in like, even actually I was in four relationships, you know, at least, you know. But you know, it was my fault, I know, you know. I'm just being a mess, you know. I was being a fuck up, you know. I know, you know. Take it for granted or whatever it is, you know. I also I'm not really, I don't think I'm really people keep saying I'm a good person, but even admit, you know, no, I'm not like a saint or something, you know. I'm not like a really nice good person, you know. I've made some really terrible mistakes, you know. I've made some bad things, you know, I think, you know, in my, at least in my subjective view, okay. But even objectively speaking, you know, people, if they know, you know, my real, the real stories, you know, if I tell them, maybe they will also, some people will also agree, you know. They might also agree, like, you know, not bad things like, you know, really like I'm murdering, killing people, not like that, you know. Not like that, not that extreme, okay. Don't worry about it, you know. But I mean in just, you know, some, I guess in like a normal way or something. That's why, you know, I feel like sometimes, you know, is this karma, you know, is this karma working in my life? Like I don't know, like the mistake that I did in when I was younger, you know, maybe it all get back to me somehow, you know. It all just now keep crushing me or something, you know. Again, you know, like there are some things in life that I really really deeply yearn, deeply want, you know. But somehow, you know, it just keeps getting out of reach, you know, somehow, you know, like love, you know, relationship. And then I keep seeing all my friends, you know, even in this 1 month, you know, just even in just this 1 week, my friend, you know, getting married, you know. And then there was one another, you know, just last night actually, you know, he just told me, you know, he's getting married with a girl that, you know, I don't know, I used to approach her too, you know. And things like that, you know, things like this. And then I want to tell you about the most painful personal, story, just a little bit, okay, just a little bit. Like there is this one girl that I thought was really special, let me just tell you, I'm a musician, right? And she's also a musician, okay? And but we used to be in the same like orchestra group or something like that, but now we're separated. And then I've been like not necessarily close with her, but I've been like I would say like a deep connection. I think at least I would feel that, because she used to share some vulnerable personal stuff with me, like about her life, about her family and whatever it is, like that, but and then in the end, like after about almost like 2.5 years, from I think like back in 2024 until now, I don't know if it is my feeling instinct or whatever. When I saw her Instagram or whatever, I just feel like maybe she's getting close with another guy or something, because apparently this guy is her music teacher, and they're playing in the same orchestra now, not again, like I've told you, she's not in the same orchestra again with me since 2 years ago, anyway. Yeah, I'm rambling, my mind is keep messing up. Anyway, basically, I don't want to make I try to keep it short, okay, in this video, like things like this, the things that I really want, but I'm still here. I am, I'm still alone, I'm still lonely, in my 40s, I still don't know, like I watch everyone, still having a good, okay, they're married, they're having kids, they have a happy family, or even happy marriage, happy couples, or whatever it is, you know but you know even I don't know, people would look at me, and then people would probably, if they see me, if they know me, again, on the surface level, they would maybe like, they would be confused, like why I'm still single, a person like me. But I know I'm a loser, I'm a failure, because not I'm not I'm not revealing my secrets to anyone, not even in this YouTube channel, about the real, what's really my real life story, you know. But I admit, I'm a loser, I'm a failure, But it's just like, I don't know, like I keep getting, this is spontaneous video, so I forgive me, okay. I'm kind of getting off, sad sidetrack on everything, It's so much, there are so much here, but I just don't know, like how to say in words, because it's just not enough, it's so much, I want to talk about, but basically, I try to keep it short, not unlike my other previous videos, okay. Anyway, it's just absurd, I think, like, and then there are some good things. Remember that I've told you earlier in the beginning, like I performed, actually, just yesterday. I performed in a small local community orchestra, but quite, the venue of like around 400 people, here, you know so it was quite good experience, even there are some deeply touching comments, like some of the people, keep saying, oh, I play really really, with heart, music, with they feel the magic, they feel like they get inspired by, my piano playing, and everything, things like that, things like this, but the truth is, I know that I'm just a nobody, I don't have any big names yet, that even though I also used to dream to be a famous musician or whatever. Here I am, still a nobody, basically, you know nobody knows my real name. I'm not a popular artist, celebrity. I'm not a popular famous musician. My Instagram, still doesn't have any, blue tick, many followers or things like that. Sometimes I post even in my Instagram and only like getting like some. I'm lucky if I or if my uh my video views are reaching like one, like even just 900, see, a lot of people keep getting like, like what, like thousands, 10,000s, 100,000, or even millions of views, right, in their Instagram or TikTok or whatever. I know this sounds so shallow, I know this, I'm aware, but hey, we're living in a I don't know, we're living in this kind of era right now, right? Like it's all about social media, it's all about the reach, likes, followers, like it's just it's just sad, I personally, I at least for me, I just feel like, it's just absurd, like there are some, like I've said earlier, like in the beginning of this video, like, sometimes it almost like, there are things in life, life almost makes you feel like you can almost reach it, but somehow, and then it just crush you, I talk about this also in my previous video about reality versus imagination or expectation or whatever it is, right? It just crush you suddenly, it just uh, you know it crush you. This is what I'm talking about, what I mean by absurd, my life is absurd, because like, I know this is maybe like a stupid thing to say, maybe, I don't know, I'm sorry about this, but maybe some of you, any of you maybe might relate, at least like one person, I hopefully, that's why I'm just trying to share in this video, no matter, even if no one even feel this video, no one seen this video or whatever, it's okay, that's why I just want to share into YouTube, documenting my feeling and my feeling and thoughts, at least, at the very minimum level, at the very least. Like, it's just, I've talked about this, I think I've talked about this, or maybe maybe not, in life, life is probably random, I think, life is especially if you see it from the nihilistic point of view, life is random, life is random, like it's all like chances, chance, random chance, whatever happens, some people, they don't get what they deserve, while some other people, they get what they don't deserve, things like that, there's a lot of life is unfair, life is not fair, right? I've talked about this in my previous video too, life is not fair, some people, it's not like I'm saying that I'm a good person who deserve everything, no, 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 I'm talking about like, there are some people, some, the story, right? There are some things that, when you look at this, when you hear, when you see the stories, it's just sad, it's really heartbreaking, like how, good people that don't get what they deserve, and then the people who with the most potentials, the people with the like, like they supposed to get it, but they don't, while other people, where they, somehow, they can be able to get, just because of luck or something like that, just because they're lucky, not even with their efforts or anything, maybe, sure, but some people, but some people don't even have just luck, luck, they happen to be in the right place at the right time, at the right mood or something like this, if you're talking about, you know involving the other person, they're just somehow, they click, somehow, and then, that's what relationships sometimes happen, right? Because of that, not necessarily because of, what people keep saying, like, oh, uh, you know like, because this person is, oh, they have this, they have that. No, life doesn't always work like that, it's just sometimes, weird stuff, things just absurd, like again in this video, it's just absurd, when you look at it, like how is it possible, you look at some people, and then how can it, how is it possible, you know So let me hold on. Let me check. Let me check. Hold on. Sorry, sorry. Let me check. Okay. Um. Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that. If I want to go deeper a little bit, a little, just a little deeper, you know, if life really has meaning, you know, I don't think things will be like this way, I think, if life does have a meaning, things are probably, like, I talk about, like, in also in my previous video, like we as human being, right? We write, that some people, there are some really really great creative mind who, keep creating all these, uh, worlds, universe, different kind of existence, like, they write like, good fantasy movies, fantasy stories, right? Sorry, motorcycle. They write like some good fictions, right? They write some, games, video games, or, like, novels, like stories, books, movies, comic books, anime, manga, music, drawings, paintings, artwork, everything, anything, all this creativity, all this. I've talked about this a lot, in my previous video, a lot of time. Imagination, right? Imagination, you know people, what I want to talk is this, people, there are people who keep, they create all these worlds, different world, different existence, different universe, alternate reality, alternate universe, whatever it is, they create things that it even makes more sense, makes so much more sense than this life, than this reality, this real world that we're living in. You understand what I'm trying to say, my point? Like, again, like the more I think about it, like if life really has meaning or purpose or whatever it is, I don't know. If life truly has it, it should be not, it shouldn't be like this, like what is this, what is this really, what is all of this? I keep saying this, also in my previous videos, right? Like, what is all of this, when you look at this world, look at this life, society, whatever, existence, whatever, reality, it's so, I mean, there are good things, I admit there are some good things, but it will be naive and ignorant, and simple-minded, if people keep, only look at this bright side of life, the good, positive, optimistic things about life, but they ignore the, the other side of life, like, all this sadness, pain, problems, anger, disappointment, uh crush, destroy, broken, hopes, dreams, pain, sufferings, all these things, right? All these terrible things in life, you know, in this world or whatever, existence, reality. Life is random. Life is random. You know, anything, I keep saying this, online, anything could happen. But people keep twisting it somehow into like this toxic positivity things. Oh yeah, anything could happen, you can, no, I'm not talking about this, this YouTube channel is not about this. I'm just being real, real honest, real truth. This channel, YouTube channel, is about truth, right? I just want to speak the truth, even if it's unpopular opinion. Okay, if you want popular opinion, then this YouTube channel is not for you. Obviously, right? So yeah, people should know about this, but people are just in denial. I think they just denial, somehow they're afraid. People just afraid of the truth, they cannot handle the truth. Even there's a popular quote, you can handle the truth, you cannot handle the truth, like that, right? Because the truth is not freeing, the truth is sometimes scary, like when you look at life, like how it is, it's just like, what is this, there are a lot of bad things, there are a lot of absurdities, there are a lot of irony, tragedy, ironic, tragic things happening, events, circumstance, situations, conditions, you know that are just doesn't make sense. That's what absurd is all about, right? Absurdism, like in philosophical term, absurdism is basically like, we're seeking meaning in a meaningless universe. That's absurdism, right? Even though the conclusion is by Albert Camus. He said, in his myth of Sisyphus, the his popular um, theory, basically, like, oh, we have to keep revolve, we have to keep rebel, we have to keep try to, even though life is meaningless, we keep rebelling, by keep living anyway, keep trying, just keep trying to, finding meaning or whatever. It's kind of like the brother or sister of existentialism, I think, or even optimistic nihilism, something like that. But I don't agree. I disagree. I'm I beg to differ, basically. Like, no, life is not like that. Some situations are really, objectively speaking, really, really bad. There are some people who have, like, you know sickness, illness, disease, terminal illness, chronic pain, suffering, or like war, in the war countries, poverty, poor countries, hunger, you know, all these children dying, like all of these things, like there are some really, objectively speaking, bad things in life, okay, bad things in this world, you know don't deny it, don't be like all those, a lot of people, all these normal normies people that, try to just, always try to be happy, try to be good, try to be positive, because life is not like that. At least if you get out of your, if your life is good, at least try to have a little bit of, just a little bit of empathy, sympathy, for other people, other person who have it much worse than you, who have it worse than you. Okay, try to get out of your comfort zone, of your own little bubble of ignorance, and look at the world. Wake up to reality. Wake up to reality. Look at, look at this world. Look at all this shit and this mess, like happening everywhere, basically almost everywhere. Some countries are, have it worse. Some regions, you know, some places have it like much worse, much worse living conditions, living situations, living circumstances, and things like this. You can speak about like all the big macro things, or you can even talk about like the micro thing, like about your life, like again, like I said, yeah, this is supposed to be like a personal video. Okay, sorry, if I'm not really organized in this video, but I think I've made my point quite clear, already. I think, like, I don't need to tell you the details about like what really happened in my life. I try to keep it secret, but I think I've just already shared some, right? I just already shared some, actually, right? Just, few minutes ago. So yeah, like, again, like, this is probably like my final point. Again, like I've said, right, like anything could happen, but it's not necessarily always a good thing. Anything could happen, even bad things that you will never guess, you will never predict, you will not necessarily like really, really bad things, but it's just like pointless things, like pointless, senseless existence, like you look at some, even maybe you yourself, I at least I do feel like this, like why am I still living? What is the purpose, what is the meaning of all this, like what is my life is about, because I'm nobody, I'm still a nobody despite all these good things, but hey, I'm still a nobody, really. I'm still a nobody. I really, really, really seriously, honestly, sincerely saying this, because that this is the reality, Just this is just the reality of my life. I know, Again, I keep it secret, but basically that this is the only thing that I could say in this YouTube video. Like my life, I know I'm a loser. I know I'm a failure. Despite all this potential, all the good things on the surface level. If you look at some of my social media, especially Instagram or TikToks or whatever, you wouldn't been able to guess, like you would think like my life is already successful, already up here, like oh, so cool, so cool, see, people wear fake mask, this is what I'm saying, this is a fake society. It's a fake life, like so fake, like people, they don't want to be real anymore, everything, you just, hey, how are you, hey, it's nice, oh yeah, it's good, hey, how are you, hey, I hope good things happen, things like this, which is nonsense, which is BS sometimes, to be very honest, this world really needs like people who are really opening up the most deeply vulnerable things, like you're supposed to share and understand and not judge, not judging, not judging. Oh, you're a loser, you're a loser, you should be like, why are you down here, why are you not, you're a loser, 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 like that. Unfortunately, this is just, that's our life, right? This is like what this is where we're living right now, we're living in a world where, sometimes it's all about like, it's all fake, it's also shallow, it's also superficial. It's only on the surface level only, people rarely go like really, really deep down, they don't want to go, a lot much more deeper, they people mostly, they just want to stay here, on the surface, tip of the iceberg, okay, the meme, right, the tip, only the tip of the iceberg, but they don't want to go deeper, like the deeper truth, like what's the deeper things about life, people don't want that, people just keep, hey, hey, how are you, hey, 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 how are you, hey, yeah, yeah, it's good, yeah, yeah, how are you, oh yeah, yeah, it's good, yeah, I'm good, it's things like this, it's pointless stuff, but people just keep flexing, hustle, because apparently, that's the normal way of life, like hey, you're supposed to keep, keep climbing, this climbing there, keep reaching this, reaching there, you have to keep aiming, keep growing, haha, growing, self growth or whatever it is, it's tiring, like what is all of this, I do admit that my life is, because I'm a loser, I'm failure. That's why maybe I can talk like this, because maybe, people who are winning, people who are successful, people who are up here, maybe they're just oblivious, they don't talk about these kind of things, dark, these bleak dark things, some pessimistic, negativity, see, people life are different. I wish my life was so, again, despite all the good things, despite all the, I still live quite a comfortable life, I would say, I'm thankful. Again, I'm not saying that I'm not thankful, I'm grateful, I'm thankful, but it's just, see, it's just, I just try to be real, I just try to be real, when I say that, there are some important things in my life, a lot of big important things in life that are, you know missing in my life, that all this comfortable good life, that at least I'm still a relatively quite But even this, I don't know like how long it can last, because like I've said, I think I've talked about this in my previous video. In actually my life is kind of stressful right now with this whole financial economical condition, and things, it's stressful, even for my parents especially, money is, you know we worry, we do stress about money too, so I'm not that rich, I'm not rich, I'm not really rich, things are actually going like, objectively speaking, a lot of things, but at least like I've said, in the beginning of this video, at least like yesterday, I performed in a concert in a local community orchestra, small orchestra, by the way. And it's not nothing, even chat AI, chat with GPT, chat GPT or DeepSeek, it keeps saying that, hey, it's not nothing, at least it's not nothing, it's not nothing, it's something, and people keep, I'm deeply moved, deeply touched, by some this one person, female, orchestra member, who a new orchestra member, much younger than me, but she write a lot so touching, deeply touching message, like a caption story about, like my piano playing inspire with hearts, inspire her to learn piano, and it's not nothing, it's not nothing. But yeah, I would is at the same time I would also admit, and I know that my life is a mess, my life is a mess, my life is a fucking failure, loser, compared to everyone else, compared to most people, that's why I say, my life is absurd, I think I feel, at least I feel like my life is absurd, like even I keep feeling that, maybe I'm alone in all of this, maybe people don't really experience this randomness, random life, there is like a popular Reddit meme, back then, I don't know if you any of you know about this, it's called like a random exister, random exister. You just basically just exist randomly in life, exist randomly without any purpose, without any point, without any meaning, and you don't know what you're living for, what your life is all about, you just basically go through day like you just randomly existing, like nothing, it's nothing, like your life, you don't know what's your purpose, you don't know why you're here, you don't know like what the fuck this is all about, sorry for my, you know you get my point, right? But because that's what I somehow feel too, it's so random, my life, like, some good things happen, but also like a lot of disappointing, a lot of many still disappointing things about my life, that's why I keep saying, I honestly think my life is still a failure, a loser, despite all the good all the good things that just happened yesterday, you know sorry that I cannot really tell more about this, because it's personal, and I try to keep it secret, the details, details, I keep secret all the details. Okay, maybe someday I will tell you, maybe someday I will open and share all of this, all of them, in this YouTube channel. Maybe we'll see. If I'm still alive, you know if you know what I mean, from my previous video. Okay, I think I should stop here. Again, it's getting longer already. But yeah, tell me if you relate, if any of you are watching this, maybe, like do you ever relate, like, like about this life absurdity, it's life randomness, you know like life purposeless, senseless, yeah, senseless, like there is no sense, it doesn't make sense, like why this happened, why that happened, why this happened, why that happened, why this, all this mess, all this mess, this chaos, chaotic chaos, I suddenly think about this Joker's line, agent of chaos, he said that, right? Joker in the Dark Knight. He's tr- I can see like why he's saying that, like life is a mess, life is chaos. Like there is no order, there are some order in life, there are some order, and there are some chaos. Okay, this duality, dualism, if you want to go deeper, but the chaos is just so absurd, it's just so messed up, this life is full of life is full of this, life is full of random, random shit, pointless, senseless, meaningless things, or whatever happening, whatever that happens, it just doesn't make sense, it's just so, you look at that, and then you see like, oh, it's so pointless, it doesn't make sense, it all doesn't make sense, like why you keep asking why, why, even perhaps to your life, like you're asking like why my life is like this, why my life, why, like God, why, like universe, like, or whatever it is, like why is this happening, why is this happening to me, why is this happening, like why why I cannot be, why good things happen to other people, why in my life, even with you, even if you have a good life, okay, even if I admit I still have a relatively good life, even still until now, compared to so many people in my country, right? But even with all your good life, you know not necessarily bad life, okay, but even with your good life, you are still so fall short of, the normal, or the standard, or the society expectation, or comparison, like, oh, because other people, there are a lot of people who are really, really, they're really great, they can achieve things, they can win, they are winners, and you cannot, like you're stuck here, despite all your potentials, your talents, your whatever, you're being good, you're being nice, life is not about like this, right? This, right? Life is not fair. There is no saying that, if you're good, life will treat you better, if you're good, life will be good. That's bullshit. Some of the good people, they suffer the most. If you look at the history, human history, some innocent, even innocent children, little children, or even innocent people, innocent kids, little kids, they get killed. Natural disasters, floods, earthquake, volcanoes, you know see, there is no justice, or even by humans, by human being, like war, torture, you know rape, or being lied, being manipulated, being taking advantage of, being isolated, being left alone, being rejected, being so many things, so many things, God, just so many things in life, that is just so wrong, like, and you don't know, you don't understand, you cannot, you know like, you don't understand why is this all happening, right? You try to make sense with all the religion, spirituality, oh, because God is this, maybe God have a purpose, maybe everything happens for a reason, things like this, people that keep saying, but you don't know that, people just say those words, just so these platitudes, just to, just to comfort themselves, to, because otherwise, people just cannot handle the truth. I think, people are afraid of the truth, because the truth is scary, the truth is ugly, the truth is the truth doesn't set you free, like that popular quote, no, the truth is the truth is depressing, I think, if you know the truth about life, existence, reality, like what is this all about, like, unless, if I even I'm even even still admit, like, we don't know, I don't even know, like, of course, I'm just only human being, right? I don't know like what's really going on, but I don't know. Maybe there is a higher purpose, higher meaning beyond behind all this mess, all these shits, all these bullshits. But I don't know. You don't know. We don't know, right? Yeah, this turns out to be the longest video. It's 50 minutes already. I look at time. So I will stop here for now. Yeah, just tell me if you're watching this video. Okay, have you ever feel like your life is absurd too? Because I do feel like my life is absurd. Okay, I will stop here. Thank you all for watching. mm, Take care as always. Okay, bye bye.